A very special greeting to the wonderful audience attending the PAUA Summit in Paris, France. I am sorry I can't be with you guys in person, but I'm excited to nonetheless deliver a digital transmission of hope and optimism in order that we may rise to the occasion and address the grand challenges of humanity by deploying an expanded sense of compassion and stewardship and responsibility towards our fellow humans. As the South African saying goes, Ubuntu, I am because you are. Now, I don't think I need to tell you that we're living in a time of radical disruption. We're living in a time of, in some sense, a kind of existential vertigo. We're seeing violent conflict across the planet. We're seeing the effects of climate change increasingly lead to a sense of fatalism, doom, and gloom. And we're living in a hyper-mediated environment where if it bleeds, it leads. Social media doesn't help quell the panic. In fact, it exacerbates the feeling that we are free of any agency, that the world is going to hell and we lack the resources to do anything about it. There's a great quote by Edward O. Wilson that I think offers a grand summation of our unique predicament. He says we have Paleolithic brains, we know this to be true, trapped by the ego, trapped by our desires, trapped by our short-sightedness. We have Paleolithic brains. Then he says we have medieval laws, ill-equipped to handle the face of the disruption we're facing. And then finally he says we have godlike technology. So again, Paleolithic brains, medieval laws, and godlike technology. And so this simply will not do. We have the tools to change the world, but we lack the wisdom to deploy these tools in the right way. You know, in some sense, technology is a double-edged sword. You know, like harnessing fire led to cooking, which transformed humanity, but harnessing fire also led to the weaponization of fire, and it allowed us to destroy on a scale we couldn't destroy before. The origin of the alphabet and writing, well, that transformed humanity, allowed us to encode human knowledge, it passed it down across generations, but we could also weaponize language. It can lead to hate speech, propaganda, and all sorts of deleterious effects. And so the problem, I don't think, is technology nor our unique genius and capacity to concoct, to conceive, to summon our imagination in the form of these technological scaffoldings and these technological extensions of our will and creativity. The problem is our lack of wisdom. The problem is our lack of compassion. The problem is our lack of vision, perhaps. And this is where the space of psychedelic healing is potentially so transformative, in that it could potentiate a revolution at scale that can move us past our egotistical short-sightedness and move us towards a perspective, a kind of overview effect, as the astronauts call it, where we see the big picture, we move past separation, and finally use our genius and our technology to address the grand challenges of humanity. Now, this is not to say, again, that there aren't a lot of challenges, that there aren't a lot of problems, that it could all go to hell. It could. And I'm sure there's a lot of people speaking at this conference who will articulate the deleterious situation that we're in. But I must hold forth the light of optimism. You know, I need a reason to get out of bed in the morning, one that says, yes, we can, one that says that we can craft a new mythos, a new story, a new overarching narrative that moves us forward, that leverages ecstatic ancient technologies and brings them together with our godlike digital technologies so that we can create a world beyond imagination. So this is the key message I want to leave you with. I've prepared a special video full of music and images to inspire emotion, to give you that
feeling in the pit of your stomach that maybe this is in fact possible? I mean, we're all here together in spirit with an open heart, leaning into what we could do together. Now, in the same way that we put a man on the moon, in the same way that we've created digital technologies that allow us to share our thoughts across time and space in ways that are astoundingly miraculous, we can bring this genius and combine it with a new kind of wisdom to make this a better world. This is what the inspiration behind PAUA is all about in the end. So have a look at this video and let's meditate on how transformative innovations in biotechnology and nanotechnology and artificial intelligence could be leveraged to address the ills, to address the challenges, and to make this a better world. So that's that. Have a watch, and thanks for having me. Cheers. No doubt you are in for a real mind trip, and that's really the idea, to provide a new vision for humankind, one that leverages both ancient and often ecstatic technologies to compel us into wisdom, and also leverage the godlike technologies which are increasingly allowing us to make manifest our imagination in the world, whether it's programmable biology, synthetic biology, the fact that the language of biology is becoming a programmable medium, that DNA is code, that our genes are software programs. The possibilities opened up in this space allow for a kind of speciation or a self-directed evolution. But where will we direct these new godlike capacities, this new self-directed evolution, if we don't have the wisdom to dream bigger than ever? And this is where the ancient technologies, those old lineages, those psychoactive experiences that can raise awareness beyond the trappings of the ego, so that we can switch to a higher vantage point and see the possibilities that lie before us. You know, Edward O. Wilson, he had this great line. He said, we have Paleolithic brains, medieval laws, and godlike technology. And so the reason it feels like things are going off the rails is that we're like a runaway train, a runaway ego of godlike technologies that lack the wisdom to move us past these Paleolithic brains and their ego-centered desires. We need to move past this. We need more wisdom. We need to kill the ego. We need to see the communion that binds us to the natural world and bring that psychedelic wisdom into the cybernetic realm. You know, where psychedelics and cybernetics finally converge, and the insights that come from those spaces are directed by a new consciousness towards addressing the grand challenges of humanity, then we will solve the climate change crisis. Then we will solve the crisis of violence and war and the violation of the biosphere and the desire for this kind of endless growth that has no mind to it. We will bring compassion to our practices. We will bring compassion to our business. We will bring compassion to the terms of engagement of humanity. And I think this is what is needed and why this event is so important. This convergence is so important. These ancient technologies, this ancient wisdom brought to a new era of cybernetics. As the world as science reveals that the primary matter, that beyond matter is information, may we gain the tools, through nanotechnology to understand the world as a programmable medium that we can shape with our discourse and with our intentions. As McKenna said, the world is made of words, and if you know the words the world is made of, you can make of it whatever you wish. This is what's happening in robotics, in nanotechnology, in biotechnology. So let us bring the wisdom of the ancients to our contemporary times, and let us free the brave, reckless gods that live inside of us. That is our destiny. As Stuart Brand said, we are as gods and might as well get good at it. So thank you, PAUA, for bringing these worlds together. Jason Silva signing off. Sorry I can't be with you guys. Cheers.